evening, race fans, and welcome back to the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series every Monday night, brought to you by FEGPC.net. We are at the virtual Kansas Speedway for this round of Segment 3, and it's guaranteed to be another fantastic night of racing. As always, my name is James East with Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, single car qualifying is underway. Looking to see who's going to be fast, who's going to be making something happen. A very healthy field out here tonight. Looks like about 32 drivers making their way out to the track. As we check in on David Stryker in the number 24 machine. But it looks to me like, oh, look how tight it is in qualifying. McKinney, Dula, Harrington, below, Ross, all less than 100th of a second. But it's going to be Eric Parks moving on up the standings with a 31.11 in the number 73 Ford F-150. As we're watching to see what Stryker and the number 24 machine can do out here tonight. As always, let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. I appreciate it. The drivers appreciate it. If they don't already have it pulled up on a separate screen, watching or listening, I can just about guarantee you they're going to go back and watch it. And they definitely notice and appreciate when that chat starts lighting up for them. Stryker on his first timed lap. What's he do? A 31.64. So who's going to use that second lap to get fully up to pace? Now tonight at Kansas, we've got 65% fuel allotment and a varying tire allotment depending on what the team decided to do for this round. Now I had the pleasure of calling a cup race here yesterday, and it was definitely noticeable how much the tire wear was. Let's see what Stryker does for his second timed lap. A 31.16, good enough for 7th. Let's see who else is out on track that may be looking fast here. Joe Cogburn will not be able to put down a second time, and that's going to lock in for the grid for tonight's main event. We got David Solomon cheering on Corey Stahl in the 66 machine. As let's run through tonight's grid. Eric Parks starting on pole. Dalton McKinney starting second. Matthew Dula starting third. Jeremy Harrington starting fourth. John Below, 5th on the grid. Chad Ross starting 6th. We've got David Stryker starting 7th. Jeffrey Radke starting 8th. Don Mullahan starting 9th. Stephen Page, 10th on the grid. Christopher Carter starts 11th. Shane Davis starting 12th. Cycling it back to Derek Fulton will be starting 13th. Chad lost there. Dennis Black starting 14th. Chadwick Denton starting 15th. Corey Cheshire starting 16th. Jay Darger starting 17th. William Price, 18th on the grid. Mark McFadden starting 19th. Devin Rogers starting 20th. Adam Shane starting 21st. We've got Eddie Hawk starting 22nd. Chris Davis, 23rd. Corey Stahl getting the love from the fans here tonight. Will be starting 24th. James Kaufman starting 25th. Roger Hale, 26th. Joe Cogburn starting 27th. Rylan Fascinato starting 28th. Michael Brisson starting 29th. Jordan Darnell starting 30th. Richard Jones, 31st, and Kenneth McCullough Jr. will round out the 32 truck field we have here tonight. Garrett Belcher cheering on Shane and Chris Davis with Davis Brothers Racing. Good to see a family affair here on a Monday night. Again, I appreciate you all so much for tuning in. I couldn't do these broadcasts without you. At the very least, it wouldn't be nearly as much fun. So thank you all sincerely every Monday night. Tune in, supporting the channel, supporting the drivers, and supporting the league. We're waiting for a few more drivers to make their way out onto the grid. And here we go, going to get them gridded up behind our iRacing pace car for 135 laps here tonight. That's McKinney and Parks on the front row. Dula and Harrington your second row. Ross, Radke your third row. Going to be interesting to see, will it be a good, clean green flag race tonight? Or are we going to see some carnage early on here at Kansas? Now, I believe in the next-gen cars, they're clicking off about 31 to 32-second times. It'll be interesting to see just how fast the trucks are able to make their way around. As the pace car is in. And away we go, green flag racing. Up front, McKinney and Park side by side. Dula and Harrington trying to find their spot in the mix as well. Running very, very close here up front. Look, somebody getting bumped down a little bit there. Are we going to go 3 wide into 3? It looks like we are. It's Parks, Dula, McKinney putting on a show early on here. Now this track, at least in other cars, has been very highline dominant. But we are going 3 wide, and there's carnage already. The 73 with a hearty shove. Who's that getting pitched up? The 17 into traffic. Around goes the 9 of below. And it is going to be an early night as there is a parking lot here at Kansas. And everybody involved in that one. Oh my, with no fast repairs. That is not what you want to see. John Below, Corey Cheshire, Dula, Shane, McFadden, Hawks, Kaufman, Harrington, McCullough, Cogburn, the gang's all here. And let's look at that one once more, a little bit slower. That was John Below gets tipped because it was the 17 comes back up into traffic. I wonder if I can back that camera angle up a little bit. There we go, like magic. So that's Chad Denton and the number 17 machine, the purple black on the inside. No, it's not. It's somebody running the wrong transponder. Makes it really tough to make any replays happen here when guys don't have the right transponder on. So I don't know who's in that initial incident. But man, oh man, did it start hitting bad. And the field just starts stacking up, nowhere to go. So unfortunately, can't tell you the driver who was initially involved in that as they were running the wrong paint and the wrong transponder, so it makes it very difficult to call any races. As we've got 14 drivers out on track, and oh my goodness, 18 other drivers who are down pit road. And that will be our first caution of the night. A lot of big names involved in that one. John Below seems like he's done and out for the evening. Put it back in the virtual hauler. Because I think I heard somebody blow up under caution there. What happened to Eddie? Oh, what's this? Problems in paradise? So they're crashing under caution here. That's Eddie Hawks in the 45. Is that Dargert? What happened to Dargert? That looks like a no. That's Richard Jones. Oh, what a pathetic display of sportsmanship if that is the case. What happened? I'm not sure if he's maliciously crashing the field. Sometimes if your internet connection's so bad, it doesn't show the other drivers out on track. I'm not sure if that's the case. on board with Jones. To see what happened there. Very intrigued by what just happened. Trying to get a replay queued up. Unfortunately, not quite able to do that. Let's see if we can get that one more time. One more time for the fans at home. And he came in like a wrecking ball. So poor Jones has hit everything but the snack shack. And we've got something else going on too. What is going on tonight? Drivers disconnecting, pulling off. I'm wondering if there's some sort of problem here. We're trying to get word from somebody, anybody, that trying to get heads or tails here of what's happening. As the field comes down pit road, I'm wondering if something's broken on the session, if they're going to try it again. We're waiting to get a word from race control. But I've got to say, folks, I'm a little confused on this one. Not getting any comms here, so I'm not quite sure what's happening, but the entire field down pit road, I'm almost wondering if we're going to start this again with how rough that was. All right, we're going to run a quick commercial break while we try and figure out what's going on. Don't go anywhere. Oh, we'll be right back. Welcome back, race fans. Good to have you. And a iRacing red flag incident after the opening of a race. If you're just tuned in, you missed the start to the evening. Got about 6 laps in with some 3 wide action right off the rip. That predictably went south for so many drivers, followed by one driver losing connection and then doing his best snowplow impression through the field under caution. So Race Control League admins decided, you know what, let's try this again and give the fans and the drivers the show that they deserve. So welcome back as we're re-racking qualifying here today. Some drivers very thankful for a second opportunity. Some drivers not so happy as they're running pretty quick up front and saw a lot of drivers out of the way. But we will try this again as we're watching Roger Hale in the 26 Toyota make his way around. Matthew Dula on top of pole. No, Jeremy Harrington taking the spot in the number 8 machine. Hale puts down a 31.27. Good enough for a top 10 for now, but still a lot of fast drivers out there getting that second chance in qualifying. Now, you remember in the first qualifying, the top 5 separated by less than 100th of a second. We are playing with thousandths of a second here at Kansas. It'll be interesting to see if it tightens up as much. Hale goes way down low to make that track just a little bit smaller. He moves up a little bit with a 31.25. Let's see who else is out on track. Derek Fulton heading out with just about 2 minutes left to go in qualifying in the 07 Toyota. It's not very frequent we see the old iRacing red flags coming out. As we see Fulton click off his first timed lap. Very quickly hopping up to 9th at 31.24, but right now Jeremy Harrington in the number 8 Chevrolet, the guy to beat. Still have about 6-7 drivers out on track for qualifying. As Fulton will settle for 7th for now with a 31.17. Let's check back in. Let's see who we can pick here. Dennis Black in the 88 machine, qualified currently 23rd. Dennis with a very quick 31.21, but that's only good enough for 11th, as Harrington still on the top spot. Only about 15 seconds left in qualifying. Dargert, one of the few drivers out on track here. He's got just 10 seconds, and he will get that second time. Looks like a 31.29. That'll put him 26th. 2 drivers not qualifying, Mark McFadden, Kenneth McCullough Jr. And let's try this once more, ladies and gentlemen, for the fans, for the drivers. Let's get everybody out onto the grid. Starting on pole, Jeremy Harrington. Dalton McKinney starting 2nd. Matthew Dula starting 3rd. John Below starting 4th. Eric Park starting 5th. We've got Chadwick Denton starting 6th. John Mullahan 7th on the grid. Derek Fulton starting 8th. Chad Ross starting 9th. David Stryker starting 10th. Dennis Black starting 11th. Corey Stahl starting 12th on the grid. James Kaufman 13th. Devin Rogers starting 14th. Jeffrey Radke starts 15th. Christopher Carter 16th. Corey Cheshire starting 17th. Roger Hale starting 18th. Shane Davis starting 19th. William Price starting 20th. Stephen Page starting 21st. Chris Davis starting 22nd. Adam Shane starting 23rd. Jordan Darnell starting 24th. Cycling it back to Michael Brisson starting 25th. Jay Dargard starting 26th. Joe Cogburn starting 27th. Eddie Hawk starting 28th. Rylan Fascinato starting 29th. Mark McFadden starting 30th. And Kenneth McCullough Jr. starting 31st in this second attempt of the main event. Place your bets. Let us know. Will this second attempt go a little bit better? Or has the stage been set for the night? As we get ready to roll out of pit road for the second time this evening. Now, we only got 7 minutes in earlier. 7 laps, I should say. And let's try this once more. Harrington, McKinney, your front row. Dula Parks, your second row. Below, and Mullahan, your third row. Let's try this once more, the second attempt of the night. Harrington with a good launch, but things already getting a little bit exciting. Drivers diving way down below the white line, trying to get the best start they can. Now on lap 2 is when we saw the 3 wide action for the first start of the evening. Will things get improved? Or are we going to see a lot of drivers coming back out with some hot heads? As the top 3 relatively single file behind them, Denton and below side by side briefly in the battle for 4th. Denton will come out on top there as Harrington, McKinney, and Dula lead the field in the top 3, getting a little bit of a breakaway from below, and Denton having a pretty heated battle here for 4th. We've got Deanna Bruder cheering on Stahl in the 66 machine as well, as here comes the battle for the lead. Dalton McKinney looks to the inside line of Harrington, but has to be careful as Dula, who shows the number 17 out on track, is the 13 on live timing, but the 46 McKinney crosses the nose and says, no sir, second is where you will remain. Now Dula does have the fastest lap of the race so far. As McKinney, who's up 1 spot, gets credit with another lap led here. The top 3 have about 4 tenths advantage of the below in the number 9 machine. It'll be interesting to see if we get those long green flag runs, who's going to be able to come out on top. As Dula trying to work every which line he can to get around the 46 machine of McKinney. As McKinney just has a little bit better drive, run that mid to high groove, especially once you get charging down the back stretch. But Dula staying right there with him. He was one of those drivers caught up in an early incident in race 1 of the night. And will he get a lap led here? No, it's still McKinney by a hair. Right behind them, Harrington looking for a way through. That's allowed John below, Eric Parks. And 4 through 6. As the field's starting to stack up here as we continue going side by side out front. McKinney on the high line just has the momentum. As we hint at 3 wide once more, 5 laps in. Harrington Harrington ripping the high line as well. That time by was McKinney once more. Ooh, this is tight racing, and the more they're battling, the more drivers behind them are going to start linking up. I'm not sure if anybody told these guys it's a 135 lap main event, as they are pushing hard early on tonight. Oh my goodness, they are absolutely going at it. McKinney has a bit of a breakaway as Below's moved up to second. Dula settling for third for the time being. And they're 3 wide for third place. Harrington wisely backs out of it in the number 8 machine, but here comes Stryker in the 24. Trying to make some moves while Dula and Parks still going at it in the battle for third. This has allowed McKinney and Below to get a little bit of breathing room. A lot of great racing early on, and hey, we made it one more lap than we did the previous race, so well done. But John Below showing no signs of slowing down the number 9 machine. He looks to the inside line of McKinney through 3 and 4. Side by side, nice and easy. Top speeds of about 190 miles an hour here at Kansas when utilizing the draft. And I believe it was below there by just a few thousandths of a second. Edging out McKinney at the line for the credit of the lap. Man, oh man, are they pushing very, very hard here. Because again, we're 9 laps into a 135 lap main event. And continuously side by side, all the way around the track here. You can see just behind them, that's Parks and Stryker who have linked up. Callahan trying to get in the fray as well, as it looks like Below will get clear of the purple and yellow 46 Chevrolet of McKinney. Let's look a little bit further back in the field to Jeremy Harrington in the number 8 machine. He's side by side with Mullahan in the battle for what is now 5th, trying to gain some ground onto Stryker in the number 24, and looks like he's going to make it happen on the outside line if he can keep that momentum as Stryker returns to answer in the in and out back 24. Pretty good racing out of the guys here tonight. As McKinney and Below still going at it up front, side by side. Look at the drive out of the number 9 machine into 3 and 4. Now, I wonder if any of these guys are thinking about tire management at this point, as they have been ripping fast laps here. And if we go green, and boy, is that a big if, ladies and gentlemen. How will tire wear become a factor, as nobody really seems to be taking it easy at all? Everybody's wide open all the way around. And still trying to make big moves as McKinney and Below still going at it for the race lead side by side. McKinney on the inside, Below is on the high line. Looks like McKinney's going to slide up in front of the 9, make it happen. Not sure what happened there between Parks and Harrington, but it was getting a little bit exciting as well. Now, if these guys running 3rd place back can work together, they should be able to catch up to McKinney and Below, who continue with this side-by-side fray. But as it stands, 3rd place back, about 8/10 off of your race leaders. As I believe Below has linked up to the back of McKinney's bumper, maybe for a little while. He's going to follow the 46, see what he can do. And maybe try and put a large gap on the rest of the field. 15 laps in, we went green so far. And for the most part, it looks like the field relatively happy going single file here. But you know who's not happy going single file? Your race leaders. Two Chevrolets absolutely going at it, and amazingly enough, really haven't lost any time to Parks, who sits in third. I'd be willing to bet the 46 and McKinney, the 9 and below, are having an absolute blast right now with such clean, hard racing between them. A little bit further back in the field, more side-by-side action. Devin Rogers, Chad Denton, Jeffrey Radke on the mix here. That's Denton in the true number 17 machine. He's got Derek Fulton behind him in the 07 machine. Fulton's been fast all season long, but sometimes finds himself with a little bit of bad luck. And also a battle for third unfolding. Harrington starting to respond back to Parks. Parks is up 2 spots. Harrington down 3. I wonder if Harrington, the number 8 machine, was maybe taking it easy, possibly planning for that green flag run here tonight. So it looks like some of the field's starting to calm down slightly until you get to about 10th place back. It's Denton, Stahl, Fulton, Carter. 2 wide, 2 rows deep. Focused on Stahl and the 66 machine on the high line. Stahl getting some love from the fans, as well as Roger Hale. Let's check in on Hale in the number 26 machine. He is currently down 4 spots in 22nd, but still a long night left to go for these drivers. If they can keep the tires underneath them, it is extremely possible to make big moves later on in the race, as everybody else's lap times will fall off a cliff. A good example, right now, drivers 21 laps in are about 1 second off their fastest lap of the race. As McKinney and below still holding about a 9/10 advantage over Harrington in third. Trying to see who's our big mover on track right now. I think it's going to be Jeffrey Radke in the 51. He's up 7 spots from where he started. Adam Shane in the number 79 Ford F-150. He's also up 7 spots. Now running 16th on the track. But out of the 31 drivers that started, all 31 still on track, so that's a much better start than what we saw early on this evening. Now, I don't want to hit it with the old commentator's curse here, folks, but I am hoping we have some green flag pit stops tonight. One of my favorite things to watch as both a racer and a broadcaster is to see the strategy that these guys play out for the longer format events. Now, from green flag to checker, not counting pit stops, we're looking at about an hour-and-a-half race here this evening. It's going to be very interesting to see just how many pit stops will be required with the 65% fuel allotment of these drivers. As I say that, Cogburn, the number 27 machine, comes down pit road. It'll be the first driver in on lap 25. He must have had some sort of problem there, as I can't imagine he was getting close on fuel yet. So it's still McKinney out front in the 46 below, and the number 9 machine tucks in behind him. Now John in that number 9 is in a good spot. He may be able to fuel save just a little bit, as he will not be the first truck pushing the air through. Now, give you an idea on lap times, McKinney and below hit very low 31.1, 31.2 second lap times as their fastest laps. That time by, they're just about at the 33 second mark. And now Harrington coming to make it a 3-truck battle in the number 8 machine. And we're going to have a bunch of drivers down pit road on lap 29. McKinney, Harrington, Stryker, Stahl, Davis, all in pit road. Below opts to stay out. So this is going to be an interesting night to see how the fuel strategy is going to pan out. Parks, Ross, Radke, Mullahan, Denton, really just about everybody comes down pit road, while below stays out in the number 9. Oh, wow. If we're only getting 30 laps of fuel, it's going to be a long night for everybody. That's going to make it about a 4-stop race, I believe. Now below comes down pit road. Fulton stays out for a lap lead. So it looks like just Fulton. Well, now I say that Fulton comes down pit road. Let's see if McCullough stays out in the 03s. He's now up 29 positions. Pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen to see where your favorite driver is as we continue cycling off the pit stop. And I believe it's going to be McKinney as your race leader here in the 46. So McKinney came in a lap 28. As, man, the top 5 still rapidly switching up here. How many drivers are going to be on the lead lap as these green flag stops finish up? Looks like about 28 drivers on the lead lap. We have lost Joe Cogburn. He went back to the virtual hauler after coming down pit road, so he did have some sort of issue and called it a night. And now McKinney is going to continue the charge up front, the 46, 1.6 seconds ahead of his closest competition. That's Harrington and Parks rounding out the top three. A little bit further back to where the action is, though. Stephen Page, Derek Fulton, Corey Stahl, Shane Davis in a mad dash for that top 10 spot. We've got Sally join us tonight, cheering on the number 5 at McFadden. Always a great time seeing her. Mark at that number 5, Ford F-150. He's up 3 spots from where he started running 27th. After a late pit stop on lap 30. Now, if these drivers are having to come down every 30 laps, it is going to be quite a night for everybody. As the battle's still going on inside the top 10, that's Matthew Dula making his way around Fulton. And if we go up a little bit further towards the front, looks like Chad Ross, who's up 5 spots in the 38 Special Machine, has closed the gap to Eric Parks in the 73, getting closer and closer to a possible podium spot here. We've got Faith, she's cheering on, gotta be Roger Hale. Not quite sure who else would be Uncle Roger on the track. I think that's going to be Hale. Let's check back in up front on your race leader, Dalton McKinney, with a 2.3 second advantage over Harrington. Harrington a 2-second advantage over Parks. The top three very spread out, but this is when your race leader is going to have to start coming through traffic to try and make some moves. And a very precarious spot to be in. You got to trust your driving ability as well as everyone else's. And I do get confirmation from the fan. That is a Mr. Uncle Roger Hale out on track, the 26 Toyota. As we're watching McKinney still cutting through traffic. That's going to make it 26 drivers on the lead lap. That was McFadden, the number 5 machine, just going down a lap. And now it looks like McKinney going to try and catch up. As ahead of him is Ken McCullough Jr. and Roger Hale running 26th and 25th. And so far, definitely look like things have calmed down out on track. Now, I'm sure as soon as I say that, something absolutely catastrophic is going to happen. And if it is going to happen, it will be in this battle for ninth. John Below has fallen back the standings, now running 11th, as Denton and Rogers move up to 9th and 10th. Hard Charger on track, though. Jeffrey Radke in the 51 Toyota, he's up 11 spots. Now currently running 4th and very quickly catching up to Jeffrey Radke and the number 51 machine. Radke on the inside line, Parks hugging the outside wall. Both very clean race trucks out there. Radke holding on to that third place spot after making the move on Parks. Not sure what's going on to Below, though, in the number 9 machine. Very uncharacteristic to see him falling back the standings so much. He's now 13th. He's down 9 positions from where he started. Now, I don't think he took 4 tires in that pit stop. I think he only took 2. I wonder if that could be the difference, is so many drivers are blitzing their way around inside, outside of the number 9. Corey Stahl about to have some company from Stephen Page, William Price. But right now he's up 1 spot from where he started, running 11th. And that's the good thing about coming out here on a Monday night racing with FEG PC. Some of these guys aren't out here looking for their first win. They're out here trying to set personal best, getting faster and faster every time they come out. And that is really what it's all about. But a side-by-side action there with Price and Stahl in the battle for 11th. Price in the inside line, Stahl on the high groove. So good to see some great racing, 48 laps in. And drivers right now, I believe, just fighting with tire wear and traffic management. As your race leader, Dalton McKinney's had a whole lot of guys to cut through here in the 46 machine. We're down to 22 drivers on the lead lap. And McKinney making it look easy out here. Looks like, is that Fascinato in the 69 machine just ahead? Yeah, it is. That's Ryland, one of our favorite Canadians. He's running 22nd, up 7 spots from where he started, but about to go a lap down to your race leader. Fascinato will go a lap down. Now just 21 the lead lap. Very impressed with how McKinney is just clicking it off and making it happen. As behind him, Harrington about almost 6 seconds behind him. And Radke just less than 2/10 behind Harrington. Oh! And that's Harrington, your race leader. No, excuse me, Harrington running third, and the number 8 machine tags the wall, rapidly slows down there. That allows Parks a massive chance to run away with third place. And now Chad Ross is going to be back in it. Just like that, that's all it takes is for a driver to really tighten up, and you can find yourself causing the first caution at the evening. Very thankful Harrington was able to stay off the wall even more. As speaking of wall, looks like that's going to be Davis and Stryker putting on a show. Now Devin Rogers narrowly avoids getting to the back of Stryker there. Just ever so slightly grazed against the back bumper of the number 24. And Rogers and the number 25 able to pick up a spot. That's his 6th position gain. But look at this, Harrington, who was running 5th, comes down pit road on lap 56. So we're starting to see the second round of green flag pit stops as McKinney, your race leader, comes down pit road. Radke opts to stay out here in the 51. That's going to be his 14th position gain. And this will be the second round of green flag stops. We've been seeing about 30, 31 laps out of the drivers at the absolute most. Radke, one of those drivers who came in a lap 29, so he's going to be a little bit short, or a little bit close on fuel here, I should say. If, and that's a big if, we're seeing drivers coming in for a fuel necessity and maybe not so much tires. As Radke's last time by, a 33-second flat compared to a 31.3 being his fastest. The top 9 drivers stay out. Right as I say that, Radke comes down pit road. Ross follows suit. Will Price do the same? And the number 34, no, he's going to stay out to get a lap led here at Kansas. So Price comes down pit road. Looks like Fulton, he ran 31 laps in his opening fuel run, so he's going to try and come around lap 62, I would believe. So I think Fulton's going to be coming in this time by, may stretch it out one more lap, as he is one of just a few drivers extending the fuel run off strategy from the rest of the field. Oh no, what happened there? Drivers swapping it around, who was that? And was Fulton tied up in that? Trying to see if there's any damage on the front of the 7 machine. And I'm trying to see, is that front right of Derek Fulton's machine damaged? It doesn't quite look like it is, but what a massive moment. That's going to put Dalton McKinney back as your race leader as the pit cycles click off. McKinney with a massive lead here, 9.2 seconds over Harrington. Harrington just 1 second over Eric Parks. But that's our second run of green flag stops without cautions. But boy, did we get close there. So as the stops cycle out, it looks like we're going to be down to 15 drivers on the lead lap. Now your race leader McKinney showed 12 seconds in his pit stall after that lap 57 pit, so he may very well be on a 2-tire strategy as well. As we got somebody off track, I believe it was McFadden. Not sure if he had a moment, what the issue was. Let's take a look and see what happened to him. Leaving pit road. Does he give it too much business? Yes, he does, and very slightly off track. Thankfully holds on to it, no cautions, no problems. And we will keep this thing charging with Dalton McKinney up front. So we're 67 laps into this main event. We haven't had a caution yet, but we're starting to see more and more mistakes as we are at the halfway mark of the evening. Now, we did have a question about Hale. He was in his pit stall for just about 53 seconds on lap 60. So he may have had a penalty coming on the pit road, may have had a little bit of damage. He wanted to get touched up. It's a long race, 78 laps left to go. So sometimes it's a little bit better now to take care of the damage early on the run. Maybe hope the caution comes out later and try and get those laps back. As the battle for second starting to unfold here as they cross the line. It's Jeremy Harrington, the 8. Parks in the 73. It looks like he's using a little bit. Now that's Fulton down the low line who hops out of the way of this battle. tight race in here. This is the battle for second with Harrington and Parks, but you've also got traffic thrown into the mix as we go 3 wide. Well, looks like Parks takes over the second place spot, number 73 Ford F-150. Harrington going to settle for third for a little while longer, as there's Derek Fulton behind him. Now he's a lap down, so he's not going to try and make any big moves here. Now Parks and Harrington came in within 3 laps of each other. Both drivers took 4 fresh tires, I believe, by looking at their pit times. But I can't believe how fast McKinney is out front with a 2-tire strategy. He still has a 9-second advantage over Parks and Harrington. If this thing keeps going green, he's going to continue putting on a dominant performance. And I wonder if he's saving a little bit extra set of tires towards the end. As Parks starting to extend that gap over Harrington. Harrington losing a little bit of ground here to Ross in the 38 special machine. Make some moves. Radke's taking over the 4th place spot as Harrington starts to fall back. A little bit further back in the field, John Below working his way back up the standings, now 8. As he's got Chad Denton and the number 17 behind him. Now a very diverse running order here as far as manufacturers. You've got Chevy first and third. Ford, their fastest, run second with Parks. Toyota, the current fastest, is Radke in the 51. He's 4th out on track. And we've got about 15 laps till we're expecting our next pit cycle to work its way out. Now, last week at Darlington, it was, I believe, Derek Fulton who got credit for the win. Right now, though, Fulton not having the night he wanted. We saw him involved in some contact in the 07. He's running 18th, down 10 spots from where he started. Matthew Dula coming down pit road for a green flag stop. Now, I'm very impressed, and I do like to see with how different the tire strategies are here this evening, of guys able to make some moves, kind of yo-yoing through the field. Drivers who maybe opt for 2 tires in the first fuel stint, drop pretty far back down the standings, take 4 tires while everybody else is on a different strategy and start crawling back forward. As we see Denton throw it down pit road for his 3rd stop of the night. Now, his last stop was, I believe, lap 57. So he's trying something a little bit different to get off strategy here. as McKinney, your race leader, with only 14 drivers on the lead lap. He came in a lap 57. Again, we're expecting about 30 to 31 laps at most out of these drivers. So that'll put his next planned pit stop around lap 87, 88 if he stays true to form. But very impressed. We went 80 laps green. Extremely well done by everybody. If we can run this thing out till the end, I'll be extremely impressed. As still in second, Parks and Ross can't get away from each other. Within a quarter of a second late into the fuel run, we're already seeing some drivers such as Christopher Carter initiate those stops. So we're expecting a lot of the drivers to come down pit road for, I think it'll be the second to final time here tonight. In about 4 or 5 laps, I think pit road's about to get very, very busy. So this is going to be allowing some drivers to try and make some moves here. McKinney getting some love from the crowd as well as Roger Hale. Parks, Ross still linked up in the battle for second. Will we see Ross make a move before the green flag stop? Or is he going to take it easy behind the 73 Ford of Parks and maybe see what he's doing? Parks way down low, Ross running a higher line through the tri-oval. Again, this is the battle for second out on screen. Your race leader, Dalton McKinney, almost 8.2 seconds ahead of this fray. Harrington comes down pit road for a green flag stop. So does Cheshire and Kaufman. When will we see McKinney? It should be in the next 2 to 3 laps. We expect the race leader to come down pit road. As we're currently watching Parks and Ross separated by 3/10. Parks up 3 positions. Ross up 6 so far. Now let's check back in with McKinney. That's a whole lot of traffic behind him. We got 11 drivers on the lead lap. And McKinney's going to slide down pit road for what we believe will be his second to final stop of the evening. Parks opts to stay out. He will get another lap led here at Kansas. And Chad Ross opts to follow him as well. Now this is where strategy is going to come pay out. A very weird pit cycle for these drivers. It was scheduled to be about a 4-stop race here, I believe. I think that's going to be accurate as McKinney, it's his 3rd time down pit road. Parks down pit road. Chad Ross will get a lap led in the 38. Ross last time in was on lap 59, so he's going to be pretty tight on fuel here. Yep, just as we say that, Ross down pit road. Radke follows suit. Oh, look at the moment out of the below in the number 9 machine. Fishtailing to get that truck woed up. And I think that's going to put Stryker as your race leader in the 24. Yes, that is indeed the case. So Stryker in the 24 trying to get a lap led here on pit strategy. Stryker down pit road, so this should be the final pit stop, the second final pit stops of the night. As there's Dalton McKinney, I believe that's Stahl on the inside line of the 66 machine trying to get a lap back here. But McKinney has been an absolute demon tonight, just clicking off laps, making it look extremely easy. And he's got just 45 laps left to make it happen. So it's going to be interesting. Will we see this thing go green out to the end after an early red flag in race 1? As so far, things looking pretty good. Yeah, I've got to agree with the fans. Great sportsmanship, great racing. We've had a couple of close calls early on in the night, but now things clicking off nice and easy. But we do have a battle going on. It was for second as I think Fulton was coming down pit road. And it's going to be Ross and Parks still. 93 laps in, linked up nose to tail in the battle for second. Less than a tenth separating these two. As Parks looks down low, Ross up high. And that will fairly much wrap up the pit stops under that green flag run. Our third run of the night, third set of pit stops. As Parks still holding it on. Making up the pass in front of Ross. Ross still just about 2/10 off of Parks. Now let us know, viewers at home, are we going to bring this thing green all the way to the end, or are we going to see a late race caution throwing a wrench in things? As it looks like Parks putting a bit of a gap on the 38 of Chad Ross, not having any issues. As we pan back to McKinney, who's once again slicing and dicing through traffic. Trying to see who's just ahead of the 46, your race leader there. I think that's more traffic as Price will be the next driver to go at 1 lap down. Still 13 on the lead lap though. And yes, that is William Price in the 34 Chevrolet. And he's having a great night as well. He's up 7 spots. Started in 20th, now running 13th. And that gives 2 testaments just how good the entire field is out here tonight. And doubly so how incredibly fast McKinney is where he is lapping all the way up to 13th place at this point. Now we are expecting McKinney to come down pit road for the final time around lap 115. He may do so a little bit earlier if he's feeling like he's got the speed is maybe falling off slightly. So he can grab his final set of tires, get back out there, continue the dominant run. As Eric Parks has been slowly gaining ground. It's down to about 6.8 seconds. It was almost 10 seconds at one point. And to give you an update on the lap times here, McKinney clicks off a 32.3. We're waiting to see what Parks put down. Parks with a 31.95, almost 4 tenths faster than your race leader. Will Parks have enough time here with 35 laps left to go to close that 6.6 second disadvantage that McKinney currently has, or has put onto Parks, I should say. Now, Parks does have the privilege as well as the misfortune of cutting through traffic as that lead driver, and that kind of gives a heads up to everybody else once McKinney's made his way by, saying, all right, there's some faster trucks working their way through the field. Let's keep an eye out for it. As you can see, a pretty heated battle in front of McKinney. And McKinney may back off a little bit here when he sees traffic in front of him going 2-3 wide, battling heavily. He's going to worry about saving that truck till the end, not wanting to put himself in any sort of danger in the 46 Chevrolet. So I would think, oh yeah, look at the battle right ahead of him. I think William Price is in the mix of that. It's Price just ahead. I'm trying to figure out who that is. Just involved there in front of McKinney. I think that's Roger Hale. And the number 26. Yeah, I'm almost certain that is right in front of your race leader. Hale hopping out of the way of McKinney. Very well done there. Realizing, all right, that's the race leader behind me. Let's help facilitate this pass and bring it home to the end. But again, McKinney's going to play it safe here. He's not going to stick his nose in if he doesn't feel 100% confident about making the move, especially knowing that his fuel window will be closing soon where he has to come down pit road for his final stop. We're predicting lap 116, 115 for McKinney. If he continues with the same strategy he has, and that'll be his 4th and final stop of the night. If he has 4 fresh tires behind the wall, he will take them and then go hot lap the rest of the race. Because Parks has been slowly closing the gap, now down to 5.8 seconds. Parks isn't making the ground up that he was looking for if he wants to try and catch up to McKinney under green flag race conditions. Almost wondering if Parks will maybe go for the undercut here, try and pit one lap earlier than he thinks McKinney will, and try and get that position and maybe make the 46 work back around. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out, as all three of your top drivers don't really have each other to work off of in the draft, having to use traffic through the field to keep those lap times as low as they can. With the tire wear very drastic, McKinney 1.6 seconds off his fastest lap, even with lap traffic ahead of him. We're going to wait and see what it is updating to. Yeah, 32.81, so rapidly slowing down here late in the run. Tire wear really rough here at Kansas. And now McKinney will see the two wide action in front of him if he can see around the 41. That is, of course, James Kaufman in the number 41 Chevrolet, running 22nd. Now Kaufman took 4 fresh Goodyears on his lap 83 pit stop compared to McKinney, who we believe took 2 on lap 86. And now Jeremy Harrington, the first of the top 5, will come down pit road for the final planned green flag stops of the night. And let's see how this shakes up. Chad Denton also down pit road. As well as Christopher Carter, Rylan Fascinato, Jeremy Harrington just made it to his stall. Will Parks go for an undercut here? I don't know if they can. I think they have to stretch the fuel all the way out. We've been seeing about 30, 31 laps on fuel. So I think at this point, anybody who comes down pit road, good to go out till the end, as we just have 25 laps remaining. Your top 9 drivers still staying out after their 3rd pit stop, as McKinney continues to cut through traffic. Expecting McKinney to come down pit road the next 5 to 6 laps if he stays on strategy. Parks closing the gap, now less than 5 seconds. Separating your race leader, Dalton McKinney, to 2nd place, Eric Parks. Chad Ross, Adam Shane down pit road for their final stop of the night. So it's your top 4 drivers remaining out on track who have yet to come down pit road. That's McKinney, Parks, Radke, and below. 10 seconds separating 1st through 4th place. And anything can happen here on a Monday night. Parks showing good late race potential, has closed the gap to 4.7 seconds. And once these top 4 come down pit road, I think it's going to be a mad dash here to the end, as it looks like McKinney settles up. He's getting ready to come down pit road for the final time. What's Parks going to do? He will stay out here, tucking in behind Stephen Page, the number 1. Page running 16th out on track, but a lap down. So Parks, Radke, Below have yet to come down pit road for their final stop of the evening. So when will Parks come down pit road for the final time? Should be in the next 2 to 3 laps. But it's interesting seeing some of the drivers go for the undercut. And maybe Parks, Radke, and Below are hoping for a late race caution. But historically, with how tonight's been, with how great these guys have been, I think it's very unlikely. As Parks comes down pit road for the final time here tonight. Radke's going to stay out. Below will stay out, number 9. They're going to run those fuel tanks as empty as they can. Eric Parks down pit road. Dargert has made his way on the lead lap. Looks like Below starting to close the gap as well to Radke within 0.8 of a second. Oh no, Radke's missed the pit entry. He's going to have to go around. Radke, who's worked so hard in the 51, may have just thrown away the race with 19 laps left to go. Will he have enough fuel to make it till the end? Radke's still on the gas, no problems there. As Jean Below has been gifted the race lead, he comes down pit road for his final stop. Radke's going to try it again. Absolute gut-wrenching for the 51, who is up 13 spots. And this, I believe, will put McKinney back as your race leader. As the final pit stops are just about finished. This will indeed put McKinney back as your race leader. I believe it's going to be Ross second and Harrington will be third. And again, it's never decided in full until the checkered flag is out. As poor Jeffrey Radke had such a great run here tonight, working his way up to the field, and all that work quickly unraveling in front of him as he is now 12th on the track in that 51 Toyota. 17 laps left to go here at the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. So let's see, McKinney with a 2.5 second gap over Ross. I think you're about to see some very fast lap times, ladies and gentlemen. McKinney's last time by at 31.7, Ross with a 31.8. Not a lot of laps left to make something happen. We know how rapidly the tires fall off with 30 laps, but with it being about a 25-lap shootout till the end after this 4-stop race, there's nothing left for these drivers to hold back from. And oh no, the yellow flag is out. And I'm trying to see who is involved in that one. Is that Fulton? Yeah, Fulton with a bad connection issue, maybe. We see the number 7 machine blinking. Or was there more to the story? So we're watching Fulton in the 7. He's getting split by Stahl. And I believe Darger at the 57. A little bit of net code there. And oh, Stahl and Darger heavy hits. And let's watch that one once more from Stahl's point of view. See if we can back that camera angle up. So what we're going to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen, the magic word of the day is net code. When the sim thinks you're made contact, but you don't actually. So watch Darger at the 57 machine. And maybe an actual little bit of contact there. So Darger and Fulton, a little bit of contact. And then Stahl and Darger, kind of innocent bystanders. But just like that, we've went about 124 laps green. 123 laps green. And now our first and possibly only caution of the evening. So close to going green all the way out, but missed it by that much. So this is about to get interesting. McKinney came in a lap 113 for 4 tires. Ross came in a lap 110 with 4 tires. It should be about a 10-lap shootout till the end to decide tonight's winner. It'll be McKinney and Ross on the front row, Parks and below your second row, Mullahan and Denton your third row. Now this may be a good opportunity for some drivers who found themselves down a lap. Suddenly able to get back in the mix, try and make something happen. But you know who is not ecstatic about this? It's got to be McKinney in the 46. He was definitely the fastest driver for the duration of the night so far. Now we're about to have to see the short run speed out of the 46. As there will be 7 drivers coming down pit road, throwing on a set of tires for a last-ditch hurrah. Pace car is in for what could be the final time. McKinney and Ross on the front row. And McKinney saying it is time to go. Does not want to get tied up in any possible misfortune behind him. As you're about to see some big movers here, as it looks like we hint at going 3 wide. Drivers opting against it, instead going 2 wide, 2 deep. John Below has made his way up into second. He came in a lap 117 for 4 fresh tires. He's got some of the freshest rubber underneath him in that lead pack. It's McKinney, Below, Denton, Parks, your current top 4. Ross still sitting inside the top 5, but things are getting real busy behind your race leaders. This is going to be frantic all the way to the end if we can make it green here. As here comes Below up the inside line to take over the race lead, up 3 spots. He's one of those drivers with a very roller coaster of an evening. McKinney's going to try and answer, but with 4-lap older tires, will he have anything for the all-black number 9? Will we make it to the checkered flag without another big caution coming out? Every time you get the drivers stacked up together, it's when things tend to get interesting. And look how busy it is. From 3rd place back, there's Harrington, the number 8 machine, getting stalked by Parks, Denton, Mullahan, Page, Ross, McCullough, Radke, Davis. If you tune into any of the Monday broadcasts, that's a lot of drivers we're used to calling the action. As somebody brings out the caution. Not entirely sure where that one was, as we don't see the crash report. We see Darger with a little bit of damage on the 57. I think it's in front of Dargard. I hear the tires squealing there. Ooh, that was the number 17 machine. Around she goes again. Back that camera angle up a little bit. Now, if I remember right, that's not actually the 17. It's somebody running the wrong transponder again. I think that's Fascinato tied up in that one. Yes, it is. Let's see what happened. Well, 4 wide is usually a good indicator that something's going to go wrong. The 17, but not actually the 17, get hooks. I'd love to call that driver's name, but unfortunately, I just don't know who they are with the wrong paint scheme. The 41 also tied it up in that one. That's James Kaufman. That's Ryan Fascinato. We're focused on the camera. And yet another late race caution. Our second caution of the night. This is going to put us into green-white checker conditions. Overtime conditions. Now we do have 2 green-white checker attempts available tonight. And it'll be another frantic dash with John Below, Dalton McKinney on the front row, Harrington, Parks your second row, Mullahan and I believe Ross will be your third row. Who's going to be the hero that comes in and take 4 tires to try and make something happen? McKinney trying to get a little bit of heat in those tires. What's gonna happen here? We knew cautions breed cautions, and we'll only have 2 attempts at overtime conditions. Now what that means is if the leader can take the white flag after this restart, we'll run it out till the end no matter what. But if the caution comes out before the line is crossed with the white flag, we will re-rack them for a final time. And in that final attempt, we can't finish this thing up without a caution. We will unfortunately end it under yellow flag conditions. So let's see what the drivers have here for us. So we will get them stacked up, double file for this green-white checker attempt. Pace car is in for what could be the final time of the night. John Below with a massive start. McKinney not quite able to hang. He's going to have pressure from Harrington and Parks here, as it is going to be absolutely frantic into turn 1. Below pulls a half-second gap early. McKinney has Harrington breathing on that back right corner panel. Right behind them, Denton Mullihan. Parks in the fray as well. White flag will be out this time by. If we can take the white, we'll bring it home here for better or worse. And we are watching the battle for second place back as John Below takes the white flag. Dalton McKinney in second, Harrington in third, and this is where it's gonna get exciting. Harrington pulls a little bit of a gap over Denton. Will he have enough of a run to maybe battle with McKinney? McKinney has to be frustrated. This race was his to win until the late race cautions. And here comes Harrington for his final attempt down the back stretch. John Below, out of 4. John Below is going to take it at the line. It'll be Dalton McKinney second, and Jeremy Harrington bringing home the third. Oh, what a night, what a night, what a night. Great racing out of all of these drivers here tonight. That was a lot of fun to watch that one. And John Below going to enjoy the limelight as we wait for Jeremy Harrington to make his way up here to the waiting room. And Below gonna burn it down here tonight. A well-deserved win. As we wait for one more driver to make their way up here, running over to the interview room. But man, oh man, what a wild night it was. As up first, we're going to have Harrington in the number 8 machine, a hard-fought third, down 2 spots from where he started, but hey, all things considered, not a bad night, am I right?
That's not a bad night. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, what were you thinking with that late race caution? And very quickly, we saw the yellow come back out once more. Were you feeling a bit of reprieve, or what were you thinking?
I actually didn't want that very last caution. The caution before that, I was able to grab some tires from the team and put those on, and I think I restarted ninth, came around the outside, and passed back up to third. I really wish it would have stayed green because when the tires cooled down for that last caution, those front guys, they're on basically the same amount of tires as I am at that point. So, but I'll take a third. I mean, I ran into the wall a couple times throughout the night and brushed it and had some damage trying to fix it while I was pitting. Short pitting here and there, trying to pick off some time from those guys. But yeah, the late rate caution, it definitely helped me out because I was going to lose the top 5.
Now, Jeremy, after those opening 100 and some odd laps, were you expecting any cautions, or were you thinking we were going to go green all the way to the end?
No, I was pretty much thinking it was going to go green all the way in, and then the last pit stop there, I had 4 tires I took, and I was able to maintain about 5th position, maybe 4th. I was probably going to finish about 4th or 5th, but without those tires, those guys were 6-7 seconds ahead of me. There was no way I was going to catch them, so it definitely helped.
Well, hey, a great night, all things considered. Got to be pumped for the third. And Jeremy, who do you want to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped you get up here.
Just Fueled Up Racing. They did a good job tonight. I think we finished 3rd and 5th, and some other guys in the top 10 there. So good job.
Awesome, Jeremy. Good time talking to you, and hope to have you back up here next week.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, sir. That was Jeremy Harrington finishing 3rd. Up next, we've got Dalton McKinney finishing 2nd. Dalton, it seemed to me like you were the fastest truck out there, and then to your woe, we saw that yellow flag come out and kind of threw a wrench in everything.
I'm pretty heartbroken about that one to, lead 115, 120 laps, whatever it was, and come out second. It's frustrating, but congrats to John on the win, and it was all in all a good night. Can't complain too much, and look forward to next week.
Now, Dalton, without giving away all the trade secrets, what's the hint, the guide? I guess I am asking for the trade secret, but to run so fast, so consistently over those green flag runs, I mean, you were fairly untouchable, and kind of run the tank dry every run.
Yeah, it was just I learned here this week you can be pretty hard on your tires. You run out of fuel before the tires run off too bad. You just had to, you run the bottom, it wears the right front out, that'll tighten you up. You run the top, it wears your right rear out, that'll loosen you up. So you can almost adjust your truck with your driving style. So I just kept the truck balanced, tried to keep the tires on it, running out of fuel, come down. And it was all about, when you were going to take your tires, because we had to make, 2 4-tire pit stops and 2 2-tire pit stops. So it was, I took 4 on the first round because I wanted to stretch it out. And then I went 2 and 2 to, save my 4 for that final run. And yep, it didn't work out how I needed to. That caution kind of killed me, but that's part of it.
Yes, sir. That's why it's racing and not collecting an easy paycheck. But Dalton, it's a lot of fun to watch you run out there. You got a whole lot of TV time and saw you slicing and dicing through traffic. Who do you want to give a shout to? Friends, family, sponsors that helped you out with that 2nd place finish this evening.
Everyone at the distance. Rylan, Wally didn't make it here tonight. Him, Jordan Darnell, Jeff Radke, and Corey Stahl. We help each other out a lot. It's fun having them in my ear during the race. My parents, my sister. I think they were watching. My buddy Scott, and I got a dirt buddy I race with a lot, Sean, that I think was watching. And yeah, I'm looking forward to going back and watching your broadcast. I enjoy what you do for us each week, and it gives us kind of something to learn from, I suppose. So we sure appreciate that.
Very glad to, Dalton. It's a lot of fun calling the action, and great job out there, and very well-deserved 2nd.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We'll get him next week.
Thank you, sir. That was Dalton McKinney finishing 2nd, but up next, John Below in the number 9 machine. John, it seemed like the seas parted and things got a whole lot better, a whole lot quickly for you in those last 20 laps.
Oh yeah, James, man, we didn't play a good strategy at all. We were behind, and really the caution saved us. Other than that, Dalton would have had the race won. He had the best strategy tonight, and just didn't play out for him at the end with the cautions.
Now, John, talking about strategy, we know Dalton was on a 4-stop, a 2-2 stop, and then a 4-stop as far as tire strategy goes. Was that the same plan you were on, or what differed between you guys that made you a little bit less than enthusiastic about the pit strategy tonight?
I didn't take tires the first stop because I thought we were going to have a little bit more cautions, and of course we go green flag for 120, 110 laps, whatever it was, and got me behind the 8 ball. But I mean, I had good enough speed if we ever got on even tires and had one caution, we were going to be okay.
Well, that was 120 laps you spent sweating in the sea of the number 9 machine. I mean, at that point, did you think the caution was ever going to come out, or were you kind of writing off the a possible win tonight with how long and green that run was?
Yeah, I didn't think the caution was going to come. We were really far, really spread out. So I should have probably not taken tires at all the last pit stop and just said if there was a caution, been able to come back down and put them on. But I mean, our strategy played out. I wanted to have the most set of tires at the end, and it kind of fell that way. It's always intriguing to manage these stops and these strategies because you just don't really know what you're getting into. You try to plan for them to go green the whole way, but evidently I didn't have the right plan for that.
Well, John, despite no plan and a lot of bad luck in the middle of the race, glad to see it worked out well for you in that top spot, up 3 spots. But I think I was showing you as far back as 12th or so under green flag conditions. So a comeback story for certain, a great run. And you have the privilege, the distinction, my friend, the final send-offs of the evening. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helped you make tonight possible?
Yeah, like always, got to give a shout out to Reaper Speed Lab. We got Chris Hill over there, Boyd Hogan, Randall Fox, a bunch of other guys that help on the open side that really helped me out a lot and have taught me a lot about just sim racing in general. And I got to thank Jeremy Paris. He coached me through, kept me upbeat during that as he was up in the spotter stand, and then I thank HHOP. They hopped on the truck this week, so Iggy's House of Power. Go check him out. He builds go-kart motors for flat carts and dirt ovals.
Well, awesome. John, great time talking to you as always. Glad to see that comeback story tonight. A lot of fun to watch, and very big congratulations on a massive win here tonight.
Oh yeah, James. It's always good talking to you, buddy, in the week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it as well. So have a great night, John.
You too, man.
And that was John Below, your race winner here tonight of the FEG PC NASCAR Oval Series. Great racing all the way through. A lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to call the action. And again, it was John Below, Dalton McKinney, Jeremy Harrington, your top 3 tonight. As always, on behalf of FEGPC.net, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in, spending a Monday night with us, and we will see you back same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everybody.